Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Suzy Lewis. Suzy is a master certified health coach. Welcome to the show, Suzy. Suzy, are you with us?
I am. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, and I'm excited to have you today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you're from?
Alrighty. Well, I am a native Coloradan, and I'm the youngest of 6 children. So my parents were such brave warriors. They had me when they were 45 years old. They thought that they were getting ready to go into retirement and be done raising kids, and I showed up. So my parents are in their 90s now, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life. And I love living in the beautiful Colorado foothills.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, tell us more about your principle in regards to personal responsibility for our health.
Well, this is an interesting topic. I really feel like, a political party, the government, nobody is going to take care of our health. It is really up to us. And I think there's so many conflicting just ways of thought out there. And so I really like to bring clarity for people around their personal health and equip them with just tools so that they can be their best self, and also to live their intended life. Because let's face it, if we don't have optimal health, if we don't feel good and we don't have our energy and we don't have our health, we can't go out there into the world and do the work that we're intended to do.
That's right. Now, tell us more about your principle on gratitude.
Well, gratitude is such a foundational principle for health. It's something that just permeates all of life. If you think about it, think about like when you maybe had a bad day or something wasn't going your way. The quickest way to get out of that downward spiral or spin, get off the hamster wheel kind of thing, is to think of what you're grateful for. I had to do it this morning, actually. I woke up with kind of that anxious feeling of, oh my goodness, I'm behind. I had too many things. And I was able to just completely switch my frame of thinking into gratitude and get to that place. And I'll tell you, it instantly will change your path. It'll change the way that your day is going. And so I just really think it's important to be grateful for the gifts that we all have. No matter the challenges that you're facing, there's always something to be grateful for. And I think that is just kind of a way of life that we can cultivate to really help our overall wellness.
That's right. Gratitude truly matters. Now, tell us more about your principle, opportunity through challenge.
Well, this is an interesting just thought. If you think about it, it's sort of pivoting your thinking from when you are faced with a challenge, there's always opportunity that comes out of that. And sometimes I think with health challenges, we can get a serious health challenge, and actually we can turn it around to be a wake-up call and actually build a stronger foundation of health upon that. So while I'm not saying, oh, everybody wants to wish for a health challenge, but I have seen people, especially in the realm of like a cancer diagnosis, go ahead and turn their health around so that they end up with stronger health than they ever did, and a healthier future, because maybe they've adopted some patterns of eating, some patterns of thinking, and things like that. So I think whether we're talking about a financial challenge, that's a whole different thing. But I do think that there are opportunities and challenges. If everything was easy, then why would we change? We would all stay the same, right?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. Now tell us more about your faith principle.
Well, I have a very strong faith. I'm a believer in Jesus, and I strongly believe that God has an intended path for all of us. And so having that basis of faith gives me a personal peace and personal hope that I hope to be able to shine through my life and through my work to other people. But that is one thing, along with gratitude, that I try and guide people to, is just a faith in something bigger than themselves.
Amen. How important is your faith to you?
My faith is paramount to me. I could do nothing without God.
That's right. And it is truly important to have God first place in your life as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. And how important is your relationship with God to you?
My relationship with God is number one to me. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect in my quiet time every morning, but it is definitely the foundation of my day is just spending time with God, spending time in quiet time, connecting to what I feel like is my true purpose.
Amen. Now, tell us more about your legacy of positive impact principle.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to school and studied molecular biology in the hopes of being pre-med. I quickly found out that I didn't have the credentials to actually pursue a career, to really get into med school. So I went into research, cancer research at the Health Sciences Center, which I loved. And one of the benefits of being there was that you got to take classes at the medical school for free. So it was amazing. And that was something that I really took advantage of. And when I was taking human anatomy, I'll tell you, the second go around when I was taking classes, when they were graduate level classes, I aced everything. I was so 100% all in. But my teacher at the end of that class said something to us that just impacted me greatly. And he said, be a positive force in the world. And I have really kept that with me. And I really strive to do that in whatever I'm doing. And so, and I tell others to do that as well. I think there's enough negative out there. Let's go out there and be a positive force.
That's right. Say that again, Suzy.
Be a positive force in the world. Woohoo!
Woo! Yes, ma'am. Now, can you tell us more about your company, Shine Health LLC?
Sure. So, as I mentioned, my background is as a researcher. I worked at the University of Colorado Health Sciences Center and absolutely loved that. And I really felt like at the time, that was the answer to our problems. I had lost my cousin at age 32. She left behind two daughters that we've had to see grow up without their mama. She didn't do anything wrong. I mean, she didn't have like a risky lifestyle. She, pretty much like did things right, but yet she was struck with a cancer that in the end, chemo-induced leukemia was what actually took her in the end. And so with that is just such a deep-seated event that happened in my life. And I know that at the end of her journey, she told us, she said, gosh, I really wish I would have known about more of the natural remedies for cancer, just to even go along with the chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff. And that just really stuck with me. But during my career in research, I was always just driven by, we're going to find out gene therapy and medicines and chemotherapy and all this stuff to battle cancer and solve this problem. Well, fast forward, after I retired from that, after becoming a mom, and I have three beautiful daughters right now, aged 20, 18, and 15, which are just my pride and joy. I'm so thankful for them. But at that time, I did retire from research, and I kind of was just free floating. I was being a stay-at-home mama, which is amazing. I was very privileged to be able to do that. But what I found is that our health started to slip a little bit. We kind of were going through the fast food. In fact, one of my daughter's first words as a baby was French fry. So, kind of funny, kind of cute, but really scary too. So we just, needless to say, we were starting to get the colds and ear infections and gain some weight. My energy was low. And gosh, I just thought it was normal. I mean, I think that generally it's pretty accepted in our society that, you start to get tired, you get exhausted, you get colds, the kids are getting antibiotics, all this kind of stuff, and we treat it as normal. But lucky for me, I decided that I needed another challenge in my life, and I decided to start training for a marathon. I don't know why in the world I thought I would do that when I had a 10-month-old, but I did. And as we started to get into the long endurance runs, I was feeling completely depleted. And I told my running buddy friend, there was about 25 of us, and I said, I think I'm going to quit. I can't do this. I can't feed the kids, get to practice, my body just doesn't want to do it anymore. And they started teaching me about a way to get whole food nutrition into my body and concentrated fruits and vegetables and berries. And so that began a journey for me that really opened the door, opened my eyes really to the power of plants and the power of whole food and what we put into our body and the way we live. And I became very, very passionate at that point, and just really started sharing that message of hope that we can take back the power for our health. And of course, I'm not saying that we have all power. As you know, I have a strong faith base. I believe that God ultimately has a path for us, and we don't have control over everything, but gosh darn it, there's a lot we can control when it comes to our health. And we don't often hear that message strong enough, I think. So that was a pivotal point for me. As time went on, about 8 years ago, I actually decided I wanted to take that a little bit further and become a certified health coach. So now I am a master certified health coach. My training was done through the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, which is just a wonderful institution for training people to support others in their journey towards optimal health. The reason that I chose that particular training program is because I took classes at some of the other institutes and things like that. And what I found is that I wasn't able to comply with the principles that they were teaching because they were so restrictive, some of them. So I ran across the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, and it just worked for my family. It's based on an acronym L.E.A.N, which stands for Lifestyle, Exercise, Attitude, and Nutrition. And those are the 4 pillars of health. So we just focus on those 4 pillars, and we don't strive to be perfect. We're making progress, making huge strides in our health. So that is kind of how I pivoted and started my company, Shine Health, LLC. And I just work with individuals. I do individual coaching with people to move them to the next level in their health, whatever that is. And sometimes we have to do some uncovering to figure out what that is. I also I love to do corporate cooking demos and teach people how to actually implement this information. So I'm all about implementation.
That is amazing.
That's a little bit about me, about my company.
Very powerful. Now, who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is going to be a mom that has children that just don't have a healthy diet. Maybe their diet consists mostly of brown and kind of opaque, if you know what I mean, maybe a little yellow in there for the mac and cheese. But just a mom that is really looking to help her family. I think that one of the greatest gifts we have as parents is to teach our children how to take care of their bodies, because nobody's going to do it for us. The government's not going to do it. No matter who gets elected into office, it's not going to fix our health. You have got to take personal responsibility. And I think a very important piece of that puzzle that I feel needs to be elevated in our society is teaching our young people and teaching our families how to embrace good health, how to cook, how to take care of our bodies, these temples that we are given.
That's right. And how important is it to strive for progression, not perfection?
Well, I think it's very important. So part of coaching is there's all different kinds of stages when you're looking at change. And typically with coaching, that's what we're doing. I'm holding somebody's hand and I'm kind of taking them along this path, and we're making some changes. And along that path, it's not going to just be a perfect road. There's going to be twists and turns. Now, hopefully with a good guide, you're going to be on a GPS but just like on your GPS, if you take a wrong turn, you just redirect, right? And so that's what we have to do in our lives, because we're not perfect people. And it's boring to be perfect. Who wants to be perfect anyway? It's boring. And there's opportunity to learn when we fall down. And sometimes those setbacks can be big, and sometimes they're just a little bump in the road. But certainly perfection is not the goal. The goal is to move our health forward in a way so that we can get closer to being able to live our powerful mission out in the world.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Now tell us more about some of the projects you're currently working on.
Well, like I said, I am doing a lot of corporate cooking demos, and this has really come about since the changes with people being more focused on their health and virus and all these kinds of things, and people wanting to be a little bit more proactive, as well as a lot of people working from home and cooking from home. I know for me, I work in the wellness industry, and I've never cooked so much at home in my whole entire life. So it just is a great opportunity for me to be able to connect with people at an online setting while they're in their home and help them to cook healthy for their families, for themselves. Number one, it saves money in so many different ways. Being healthy saves you money. With your health, you either pay now or you pay later, and it's much more expensive on a whole nother level to pay later. So we definitely want to really teach people how to cook healthy. And like I said, I'm really a big tenet for me is just equipping people with ways to implement. Not only it is important for us to understand the principles of good health and of good nutrition, but if we're not doing anything with it, what difference does it make? We've got to, where the rubber meets the road is implementation. We've got to get more plants into our diet every day. And I help people with a variety of different ways. In fact, I have a great offer right now. As we're approaching the holidays right now, we've already got pumpkin spice everywhere, right? Everywhere that you see. So I have got 3 simple vegan recipes. And did you hear that I said simple? Because I like my easy button. So
that was easy.
I know. If a recipe has too many ingredients or it's too many steps to make it, I just plain won't do it. I just am not going to do it. And you probably aren't either. It all sounds good until you've got to go out to the grocery store and get all these random ingredients. So I have got an offer of my 3 simple vegan holiday favorites that are just tried and true. Everybody likes them. And I would love to offer those to anyone who's listening. Just go ahead and email me at suzyshine18@gmail.com. Or you can always connect with me on all the places that you connect with people on Facebook, Instagram, my website, all those ways. I'm sure you'll have it listed in here, Gigi, as well.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. Now, can you tell us more about the challenges you've experienced in your life?
Oh gosh, the challenges. Well, when I think of challenges, one of the really big challenges that stands out to me is when you're pregnant and growing a baby and you've grown this beautiful human being, and then you have the human being and you only lose like 4 or 5 pounds. And then you have all of this weight, and just to get your body back to that state of being healthy, that state where you feel the best. I would have to say that is definitely one of the challenges that I overcame 3 times. I bounced back. I gained 50 pounds with each one of my pregnancies and came back to that goal weight. And it's not just about weight, but it's about having the energy and the health to do the work that we're intended to do and be the person that we're intended to be and be our best, be my best me. So I would have to say that was that was a challenging time. I think that's a challenging time, and it gives me a unique opportunity to be able to partner with other moms that have gone through that. And maybe you're on that journey or want to get to that journey. That was a big challenge. Another challenge in my life is being a single mom. I'm a single mom. I've been divorced for 5 years, and being a single parent definitely has its challenges. Definitely, I feel very blessed as well. I don't have like a really, really horrible, traumatic story of it. It was a marriage that just ultimately couldn't hold the test of time. But that is definitely an area that I've worked through my fair share of challenges. And I think with any challenge that I work through, and you probably feel the same way, Gigi, when you overcome a challenge or go through a hard time, isn't it just such a blessing to come out the other end, or even halfway through it? I don't think you're ever I don't think you ever arrive from the challenge, but to come through, say, a hard place and be able to share the lessons that you've learned and be able to have strength. And I hope to be that for other people.
And you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. Now, how did you shift your mindset during those difficult times from a negative mindset to a positive mindset?
Well, you know, gratitude is a huge piece of that. I just think, and that's something that, again, you never arrive at the perfect set of tools to get through everything. I think that we're learning and growing all the time. But gratitude is something that just what I've done through, actually, I'm thinking it's probably been about 25 years that I have done this most nights, is I have a gratitude journal, and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for before I go to bed. And again, not perfect at that, but it is something that will immediately shift your perspective. And you'll wake up feeling different the next day. And I feel like that really helped me. I have an amazing support group through Bible study. I do Bible study fellowship and have for many, many, many years. And just an amazing support connection network there that just lifted me up so much in prayer, and always and continually does. And we lift each other up and just kind of shoot out arrow prayers. Sometimes it's maybe I don't have quite as much time as I want to, but definitely that support network is so important. And I have a really supportive family as well. I know I mentioned that my parents live nearby here, and I'm very fortunate to have just a pretty tight-knit family. I can definitely reach out to a handful of people and say, help, I need something, or, whatever it might be.
Yes, ma'am. That is very powerful. Now, was there a time in your life journey where you experienced an aha moment?
Well, I talked a little bit about my aha moment. I would say, as it relates to my career, especially, an aha moment for me was the pivoting in my mind from a medical point of view that I adopted when I did research, like academic medical research, to when I kind of went through that period of a little bit of a health struggle, even though I kind of thought it was normal, but really now that I look back, it was a health struggle. It was my health degrading because I was going down the default path of health. What happens to most Americans, most people in any, country that is, I guess, just developed, because if we're not focusing on good nutrition and we're not focusing on good lifestyle, it'll slip away. So as that was kind of happening, and then I luckily through that running group got into a network of people that taught me about the power of whole food nutrition. And not only that, but it spoke to my research brain, because they opened up the door to the research backing it. And that is where the light bulb went on. And it was an absolute 180 pivot in my career, in my life, for my own health. What I, 20 years down the road end up doing now as my career. And it all really happened at that moment when I connected in my mind that it is actually scientifically proven that eating plants is a huge key to our health. And so I would have to say that was a big pivotal moment for me.
I love it. And thank you for raising awareness in regards to the eating plants as well and how it affects your nutrition. Positively.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Now, can you tell us more about what gives you joy in your life?
Oh, gosh. Well, I just have to say, number one, God has blessed me with 3 beautiful daughters. I just have to pinch myself sometimes. I am so thankful for them. My 20-year-old is a junior in college, and she's actually studying health and exercise science. So that's really fun. I feel like I had an impact. Oh my gosh. And then I have a senior in high school as well, and she's just doing amazing. And then I have a sophomore in high school too, and she's also doing amazing. And I'm just so thankful, and they bring me so much joy. And I'm just so happy for that. I'm so happy as well for my faith and for the way that I've been supported in my faith, and the way that God has just taken care of me in that way, and just always been there, and I've never been left hanging. So I'm very, very that brings me a lot of joy and thankfulness.
That is wonderful, Suzy. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your best advice for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness to the audience?
Well, I really feel like my best advice would be take care of this temple that you have. Our body, no matter flawed or whatever challenges we have, it is a huge gift. If you are breathing, it's a gift. And you have the ability to be a positive impact on the world. And I just, so I would say, take care of your temple, feed it right, love it, pour gratitude and all kinds of positivity in there so that you can shine out and be a gift to others.
Amen. Suzy, thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. I really appreciate you. Now, where can we find you?
Well, I can be found, my website is actually shinehealthllc.com. Really easy there. And there's a quick little thing where you can put your name and email in and be connected to me. You can also email me at suzyshine18@gmail.com and just put the word health in there. And I will send you those, that 3 free holiday recipes that are simple and vegan and super healthy. I think you'll enjoy that. You can look me up on Facebook, all the regular platforms where you find people on Google as well.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Suzy at shinehealthllc.com. And Suzy, again, thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Gigi. And thank you for all that you do in the world.
You're welcome. And God bless you, Suzy. Have a blessed day.
God bless.